amazing analyst, Sumbo Oladipo. Good morning, Sumbo.
Good morning, Fumi. I trust that your day has begun well.
Yes. How about yours?
Ah, grateful.
Up and grateful.
Yes. So,
All right, we are going to go into the headlines this morning, and then we'll take them shortly, then get into the matter of the day. Remember that yesterday there was an headline. Is it an headline? A headline? An headline?
a headline.
A headline that we did not finish on. So we'll quickly start on that, and then we'll now move on. That's on the lack of funds that no governor can complain about lack of funds that the governor of Lagos State had said. So
Was that it?
yeah, that was it. Was it not? Was that okay? I think we touched on it a little bit.
We touched on it. We did touch on it.
Yeah.
I think there was another headline.
The pensioners one saying they
Yeah.
gave the federal government deadline to work naked. Yes. So we'll quickly touch on that before we now go ahead. But let me quickly take the headlines this morning. I'm going to try to not spend time on each one. It's just that when Nigeria gets under my skin, okay. But today, Nigeria, behave yourself. Okay. In the Punch newspaper, we have Wike /naval officer clash. Ex-generals fume as federal government orders probe. Actually, we're going to see quite a few of this in the headlines this morning. So the next one says Bamidele Kalu differ on alleged plot to impeach Akpabio. This was interesting to see. This was very interesting to me. And a cheeky little me was like, Ori, Natasha Tikobo boy. That was a cheeky little me. I was like, yeah, Natasha is like, yeah. Shebi, you were doing it, I was doing it. It's your turn. Whether this is true is another matter entirely, but okay. But in every rumor, there's an iota of truth there. So we look forward to seeing how this will unfold. Next up in the Guardian newspaper, reverse ban on sachet alcoholic beverages. Manufacturers urge federal government and NAFDAC. Obi says unpaid Super Eagles allowances reflect misplaced national priorities. In the This Day newspaper,
I think the sachet thing was what we actually didn't touch on.
Yesterday. Okay.
But I think it can pass. Yesterday's gone. It's a new day this morning.
It's a new day, absolutely. All right. And then in the This Day newspaper, we have Tinubu to editors, criticize government policies, but don't compromise national unity. Awalombawi. All journalists and editors that we should not compromise national unity. Sir, we want to also plead with you that you two should not compromise national unity. National Assembly approves Tinubu's plan to raise 1.15 trillion naira to bridge 2025 budget deficits. Okay. Governor Adeleke presents 2026 appropriation bill to House of Assembly. In the Daily Trust, I'm just going to skip Wike's one again. Senate approves Tinubu's request to, we just took that, to borrow 1.15 trillion naira. Or in the Vanguard newspaper, we have Tinubu backs NGE's proposal for media tax relief, VAT exemption. PDP court extends order permitting national convention till Friday. I think one of the headlines we're treating is even the PDP, because I need to understand what is going on. And thankfully, Sumbo is here to help us understand what is going on in PDP. Yesterday, she had said that PDP is dead. So let's see. Stakeholders raise alarm over security gaps in nation's ports. Moving over to the Premium Times newspaper, we have reps to probe 20 trillion naira abandoned federal properties across Nigeria. Okay. Every nation newspaper. I'm sorry, so I know we had a prior discussion to this, but I just could not hold myself. Okay.
No.
In the Nation newspaper, we have Super Eagles resume training after boycotts over unpaid bonuses. I'm wondering why.
They must have appeased them.
In some way, yes. I suspect so. In the Cable newspaper, we have EFCC goes tough. Fires officer accused of stealing 22 million exhibits. Okay. Dangote signs deal to invest over $1 billion in Zimbabwe. Okay. Daily Post says poverty is not our milestone. That's a very bold statement for our president to make. Sir, you will need to look into the poverty situation in Nigeria for you to make these bold statements. Bandits kill 4, abduct Equa pastor, 11 others in Kaduna. Very overall bandits. It's getting out of hand. I mean, at this point, seeing this headline, you'll be forced to say, yeah, maybe there is Christian genocide. We've been seeing it go on. President Tinubu, please, we're appealing to you to look into this and every other one. In the Tribune newspaper, we have Abuja land. Okay, that's still CDS Oluyede breaks silence on altercation between Wike naval officer. Senate denies alleged plots to remove Akpabio. That's what they are all going to say until actually
naturally.
And then we'll see that it happens. Okay. Finally, in the dailies this morning, we have from the pen-pushing newspaper, Nigerian editors urge Tinubu to rescue media industry, seeks tax relief. Because that's the industry that I'm in, please, President Tinubu. And finally, in the dailies this morning, Tinubu urges, same as the one above, editors to curb misinformation, guard democracy. Would I say that there's misinformation out there? Yes. But would I say that all the information is untrue? No. Interestingly, I had the the privilege to represent our CEO at the embassies. There was a conference, and this was one of the conversations that we had, trust engineering. You know, how, media houses, TV, station, print can all come together to make sure that the information out there is not false. Because at the end of the day, whatever it is that the media houses say is what the citizens will run with. But then again, in this time and season, and that's something that kept on coming up, of where anybody with a camera can record any piece of information and put it out there, it's like a race against what is true and what is untrue. For instance, the Wike and the naval officer situation, somebody recorded it and put it on, right? I don't think any of the media houses had representatives right there when it was happening. Somebody recorded it and posted it. So, and that's the truth. Somebody else would have come and said, oh, a naval officer was rude to, a sitting minister. But then seeing the video, you'll not be like, maybe not. But yeah, let's get into it this morning. First on the list is still the Wike naval officer clash. Ex-generals fume as federal government orders probe. And I think this was something that you said yesterday, some of that the military have their own mode of operation and the nation has its own. So seeing that the federal government wants to probe, and everything we do a probe. We never see the outcome of it, everything they probe. When the whole Kwam 1 and Kwam 2 situation happened, it was that social probe we say up and down. Kini, Aboro, or Otomuwa, we saw it, right? So this is something that's very interesting. Basically, former military generals are saying no. There's no, the government doesn't have a right, so to speak, to probe this kind of situation, because if there's anything, we saw what happened. The naval officer was measured, he was respectful, he was composed, and then you're saying you want to probe. If anything, what you should look into is that a sitting minister went off on somebody, used derogatory words, was rude, was uncouth. If anything, that's the person that should be probed. But I would like to hear your thoughts on it, Sumba.
I want to believe, I'm sorry, I keep going on and off. PHCN have done their worst, so I try to move to the window. Okay. Now, the truth of the matter is, I think that all of that is a face-saving gimmick for the government, because they've been thoroughly embarrassed, and then of course they tell you they're going to probe the situation, and I can tell you ain't nothing gonna come out of it. That's just, to get the people to keep quiet, and then for that situation to just pass by. That's on the one hand. Now, number two, if they do, a probe, let's even now say they actually do a probe, as they have said, I can tell you that nothing is going to happen to that boy. And I'll tell you why. The military, like I said yesterday, have their chain of command, okay? And within that chain of command, it's a military chain of command, as somebody has said. Wike, his position doesn't come into it. So what you have is, of defense staff, then to the commander-in-chief, which is, in this case, is the president. Whatever, I don't want to dabble into that. But the reality on ground is that if you are taking time to, look at the body language of the military since it happened, you will know that it's a no-go area. Because, you understand, I think one of the news items I read was for the military to threaten, because that's what it is, that if anything happens to the boy, they will come out en masse to protest. I don't know if you saw that news item.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I saw it. And so when you hear that kind of thing, it's like we're getting into a very, very difficult situation of the military against the civilian. I'm not saying it's right, but the military still have that belief that they hold a space in this country that, is above every other person. When you hear bloody civilian, you know what it means. You understand? You know what it means. And that's what the young man was saying when he said, I'm not your mate, or something like that. That when I'm talking, you cannot be talking to the police, because the police are regarded as civilians.
Yeah.
So for me, I believe that the military will stand up to defend one of their own. Because that is their training, that is their modus operandi. You understand what I'm saying? And they will uphold that with their blood. So they are going to all queue up behind that boy. If there's anything at all that boy did that was an infraction in military circles, they would deal with it by themselves within their organization or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
But to subject that boy to, what I will refer to as civilian probe and whatever, it's not going to happen. I can put my money on that. It's not going to happen. So it has happened. Nigerians, you just, another one bites the dust. Nigerians, you just turn their eyes away, because I don't think that at the level of government themselves, they have the, what do you call it? They have the
authority.
No, it's not even the authority. I'm not looking at authority or what now. I'm just telling you the reality in a Nigerian state.
Yeah.
I think they have, the word I would have used, I shouldn't use on radio. They don't have what it takes, to strike against the military. I don't think so.
The other angle I even want to come from is the uncouth manner with which our government officials speak to people. I don't know. I'm not well read in the Constitution, but I shall know that in the right of kincoking, there's right of dignity. But
look for me. I'm going to tell you straight up that it's not just government officials.
Very true.
It's the average Nigerian boss. The average Nigerian boss does not recognize the rights of their subordinates. They come with that high and mighty disposition towards you. As far as the average Nigerian boss is concerned, I hire you, I'm Lord and Master over you. Let me tell you something. You find out that somebody is working in an organization, and then the boss, maybe his wife gave birth, or they have, a private celebration in their house or wherever. All the staff will, they will carry themselves there. Carry themselves there, not just to felicitate as guests, but to be working. You understand? Now, I tell people that in all my life, I know they know where my oga they live. What the heck is my business with that? My contract does not extend to your private matters.
Yeah.
I can choose to visit you, but it is not something compulsory. So they have this idea that they can talk. Look, I had an experience like this young man had. I just graduated, came back from NYC, and I was working in this organization. And the boss was a very, interesting fellow. And so one day there was an altercation, not an altercation. He had given me instructions to do something. And then there was another, as an estate surveyor, we had 2 inspections to carry out, one in Lagos, one in Abeokuta. So he had told me to do the one in Abeokuta, and he would tackle the one in Lagos. Whether he forgot or something, he didn't do so. And it became a big issue as those people began to call, and it was a big deal. And this man decided to take it on me and just began to shout. Something in my head just went crank, crank. You know, when you are youth, there's a lot of energy and all of that. I just stood in front of him and said, "Excuse me, you don't talk to me like that."
Hey.
I was a 20-something year old, just maybe like this boys. I said, "You don't talk to me like that." He said that to me. I said, "No, you excuse me, sir." "Oh yeah." I said, "You excuse me, sir." I said, "You don't talk to me like that. Courtesy demands that you don't even speak to your mate like that.
Yes.
You don't want me to work for you again, you say so." I left his office, banged the door, bang. Went through another door, banged it down. And I went to my office and began to clear my table.
Oh, right.
Yeah, as far as I was concerned, I had sacked myself. But the average Nigerian is cowardly. Is too fearful. They don't want to lose a job. Look, if you don't go, the job will leave you. So we need to have some bite. You work in an organization, and let me say this for me. You work in an organization, you have a contract that says that resumption time is 8 a.m., closing time is 5 p.m. If you are 1 minute late to resume at 8 a.m., you are in trouble. But that same organ can keep you in the office till 8 p.m. in the night, and nothing, there's nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's like, it's no, you can't complain, you can't say, they say it with such impunity.
Impunity, yes.
Yeah, and I worked in another organization also. Interestingly, this was a religious organization. And then they came and began to say we should start signing time book. I refused to sign it. And then the guy came and said, "You are not signing." I said, I don't have a problem signing this time book. But this is what I will sign. If I sign the time that I leave, I must sign the time that I come in. Because it's a two-way thing. I refuse to sign it until that's how the thing suffered, natural death. Because I said I was to resume at 9 a.m. Sometimes I didn't leave that place until 11 p.m. in the night.
Wow.
So if I come late for an hour and you want to sanction me, when I spend 4-5 hours extra, what's the compensation? So there must be equity, there must be fairness. So it's not just about government officials. Now, the flip side of it, or the other side of it, is that when it now comes to government institution, you say this thing about, do you know who I am? Who the heck are you? I'm not even interested in who you are.
Yep.
We don't have to relate on that level. Just let's do the work that binds us together, and you find that spirit of bullying in them. The spirit of, because, it's a power show. Because you are above me, you think you can make me. It's the same thing that kids' right to all this gender abuse of, if you don't give me sex, I won't give you, you won't pass out of the university. If you don't sleep with me, you will not get promotion. All of that nonsense. And it's something that we should begin to look at. It's unfortunately, it's a negative part of our socialization.
I absolutely agree with you. Time check, it is 7 minutes to 8 this morning. The phone lines are now open: 07000 917 or 9155 917 or you can call our toll-free line 0800 1235 917. Those are the numbers to call. You can text or WhatsApp us on 08155 917 917 or 0703 173 0703 1736 537. Those are the numbers to call. You can watch us live on YouTube at WFM 917. So you can follow on the conversation. You're still tuned into Women Radio 91.7. This is the Newspaper Review segment of the Full Breakfast Show. My name is Fumi Bangala, and we have none other than our analyst, Sumbo Oladipo, with us this morning. To the point that you guys gave, I absolutely agree with you, because I think 2 organizations before this one, the one before this one, you were required to resume at a particular time. And if you come 1 minute or 2 minutes after that time, you're fined. But we didn't have closing time. But the letter had a closing time. And what was interesting was that it was almost, I don't know how to explain, it was almost alien to see you stand up at your closing time to be going home. So it was a hybrid working situation. And I remember when we went to the office for the first time, because at home now, you're just going to work from home. You're still working from home, which is why I think work from home is a scam, but that's not why we're here. So went to the office and it was 5:30. That's how me, my gentle self, I got up, carried my bag, and everyone was looking at me like, "Where are you going?"
I said, because you must go and tell the boss that, can I go, sir?
How did you know? That's literally it. Like, the boss has to approve of you leaving. And I thought, that is such an interesting thing.
You can't find me in that kind of organization.
I was so, when you're so perplexed, you cannot move. Like, if it feels like the shock I felt paralyzed me from moving, because I was like, wait, what? It happened the first day. The second day it happened. The third day it happened. I said, I'm any problem. So I just think my colleagues would be like, oh, go and tell them. I'm like, why are you people not talking?
I will take my bag and leave. And then when I come back the following day and you want to make it, I will tell you, this is the time I left, and this is the. I shouldn't tell you about my work experiences, because even while I was doing NYC, I worked at a bank, and we used to close at 4. And one day, I was leaving, and my boss my direct, Oga, met me on the way and said, "Well, you are going?" I said, "Yes, I'm close." He said, "Oh, you think because it's 4 o'clock you can go?" I said, "Oh, that's my understanding of the letter of appointment." Straight up. And I didn't make a U-turn. I left and went to my house. Look, it's because we usually don't stand up to these people. When that young man stood up to Wike, what happened? Wike left. And I'm sure that he would have thought of it after. The bullies are usually cowards in the real sense of it. They just don't have anyone to stand up to them. You stand up to them, they cower. What kind of nonsense is that? So, but the average Nigerian has been so browbeaten. You understand? That he doesn't have any self-worth. He cannot apportion a value to himself. Okay? His life is determined by what somebody does, and all because, you are too scared to lose a job, to lose a position. Look, those things are not cast in stone. If you are the same boss that you are trying to power to, the day he decides he doesn't want you anymore, that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's not going to lose any sleep over it. So just what I tell people is, put a lot of value in yourself. Be a very diligent person, industrious person. Be whatever you do it with excellence, so that they know your value where you are. When they know, when your value is so obvious where you are, they would, you'll be able to negotiate from a position of strength. You
Very true.
understand?
Very true.
I had an
Very.
organization where I worked in, I resigned, and 10 years after I met my boss, and he was still begging me to come back. That's the
Whoa.
value of excellence that you put into your work.
Absolutely. And on the other side is where you think you're going against the grain. Because somebody else would have said, oh, why did the naval officer, why didn't he just back down? No. Backing down is why we are where we are in Nigeria. Backing down is what has caused us to be at this place. And I know a lot of times they say, oh, it's our vote that is our account. But beyond your vote being your power, how you stand for these things, either at work, like somebody has said, maybe at church, your places of worship, on the road, when somebody comes. Because what Wike did was, do you know who I am? And he had an entourage of people, you just feel, oh, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. No, as long as you know that you are doing the right thing, you are following due process, you're following the order, then carry on and do it.
And he wanted to really intimidate that boy in the presence of people. He had all the paraphernalia of office and instruments that could get that boy to cower. But look, what they don't understand, what he didn't understand is the fact that military training is tough. And the first thing is discipline. The military in any part of the world is the most disciplined institution. Okay? And look, these are people who, when they go in, they sign off their lives. So somebody who has already signed off his life, you want to intimidate, you must be joking. The number two is that they work by a chain of command. You understand? So the boy wasn't saying Wicked, wasn't saying whoever it was. He was saying the chain of command that brought him there. Do you understand? For him, if he messed up, if he cowered, now that room straight. Do you understand? So that's what and then the Wicked should also have had the better understanding that, look, I shouldn't be relating with this young man. I should be, if I say I'm who I am, I should relate with his superior.
Yes.
There are places there are organizations I go to. It's not even there are any organization I go to. I don't talk to food soldiers. So I ask straight up, can I see your supervisor? Who is that's me. So to bring himself down to the level of not even the level of that boy, beneath the level of that boy, in the way he acted, and it was just a show of shame. No other name for it.
All right, let's take these messages before we go into the next headlines. We have this one. I hereby advise that all members of the media should be talking against the vices that have made Nigerian society to degenerate to this stage. We have to keep on talking about them so that those of us who can provide the solution can come out to do so. Instead of facing the almighty creator of heaven and earth, everyone is facing money. Oh, almighty creator of heaven and earth, kindly, out of your mercy, continue to guide, bless, and protect us all. Amen. I do not see the name of this person. Beautiful morning to you all in the studio, but thank you for your message. Wiki and Soldiers Clash is a welcome development for we masses, because the only way we can know the truth is when they fight themselves. Because if they are united, they will loot our treasures empty and share our properties among themselves without our knowledge. So let them fight even more. Even the National Assembly should also fight themselves so that their secrets will be open. Nigerians are happy with the military man that is obeying the order from the top. But when the same military men killed our youths at Lekki toll gate and shirtsmen killed in the process by the order from above. So we should not blame them too because they are obeying the last order. That's an interesting parallel you're drawing there. The land called Nigeria is confused. Oh God, arise and trouble those that are troubling Nigerians. Mayor from Ikotunigwe. Thank you so much, Mayor, for your message. Finally, we have this one is Olushoga Ajayi from Odonlai Kurudu. He says the real questions are, is the way the FCT minister went about his official duty the proper way? That's question number one. Even if the FCT had a court order, is that how to enforce it? That's question number two. Is it lawful to physically engage soldiers even if on illegal duty? Question number three.
Can't the FCT go to court? Question number 4. Can self-help be justified under any Nigerian law? You cannot be acting as an executive officer and the law enforcement agent at the same time. Could possible. If you can have a good case, pardon me, you can have a good case but present it wrongly. Thank you so much. I'm going to wear my glasses because that's why I'm not seeing properly today. Those are the messages. Is there anyone you would like to react to, Sumba, before we go to the next headline?
Oh, well, not necessarily, but
Okay.
one of the things that I think has been highlighted in that, story is also is the fact that the military owner of the, or purported owner, whichever one, the one who is laying claim to the land, the Gambo man,
Mhm.
is that his name? Gambo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, was it right for him to have used military power to go to the place? That's a
Mm.
subject, that is debatable.
Yeah, but
Um,
Sumba, that's what they do normally. Even Wike himself came with a whole entry. Like, so it's like that's why I said yesterday,
that's it now.
power for
So,
power. Who has the
so
most
people
power?
have said he was reactionary because Wike himself had gone, there. I think while I may not be saying he was right, but I
Mm.
think in the mind of the general, there's something that you do to somebody that you bring out the beast in them.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
When you misbehave and you try to do in Nigeria what we call gra gra, when you get to do that against a man who has equal power as you
Yeah.
are or superior power than you are, it will teach you a sense or two. You understand? The
Mm-hmm.
Yoruba people say, Tori, no it is because
Mm.
of the mad fellow in the house that you have a mad fellow also outside. So madness will jam madness. So that is what the guy did. But you do understand? And you bully your way against a wicked talks like. You understand? He has absolutely no regard for anybody. He has a
Mm-hmm.
horrible character. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? And I'm not afraid to say it. It's open to everybody. And so, somebody somewhere has to stop this moving train before it does what? Before it crashes everybody out. So
Mm.
that for me is it. But when we look at it, technically, there are technical issues from either side. Okay, this wrong here, that wrong there. Do you understand? But the reason why this story is dear in the heart of Nigerians is that somebody has done for Nigerians what the average Nigerian has wanted to
Cannot
do
do
for
for
education.
yes.
He has become such an irritant to the average Nigerian that, whether what the other man did was legal or not,
Mm-hmm.
they are just happy. It's the same thing with this issue of Trump saying he wants to come and invade Nigeria. Nigerians are not looking at the legality or if there is sovereignty. What kind of sovereignty? They're just crying out for help and they will grasp at anything, even if it's a straw for a drowning man. And so that is why wherever we are, whatever position we are, whether in government or outside, we should endeavor to do the
Mm.
needful. When it is when you do the needful that you get yourselves endeared to the hearts of men,
People.
not the other way around.
Mm.
Okay? So loyalty is not something that you cry out for. It is something that people give to you out of a willing heart, naturally, because you have earned it, not because you demand it.
Thank you so much, Sumba. Time check, it is 7 minutes past 8. We are going to just move straight into the next headline, which is from the Nation newspaper. This is also actually this headline has been plaguing us for a very long time, which is basically the different factions in PDP. Is there going to be a convention? Is there not going to be a convention? There are two factions. There's the Wike faction and there's the Damagum faction. And this is basically because the PDP convention is supposed to happen in Ibadan has not happened because Wike is saying it's not going to be happen. It's not going to happen. Or like how? How does that want to happen? But Sumbo, I would like to understand something like you said yesterday. You said PDP is dead. I don't even want to speak to Wike, but what exactly is going on within PDP? Because every morning you wake up to see that a particular governor or maybe a senator has left PDP and moved to APC. And again, we're slowly moving to a one-party state, but that's not the conversation now. If we get there, we get there. But what exactly is going on within PDP? What's making it seem like Wike has so much power to be making such decisions over? He's not the national chairman, he's just a member of it. Abi, am I missing something?
You know, Wike, you turn here, Wike, you turn there,
Mm-hmm.
Wike, and
Mm-hmm.
all for negative reasons.
Mm.
And for me, the sad story there is how Nigeria not only allows a man like Wike to happen to it, but actually empowers the Wike syndrome.
Hmm.
Now, you're talking about the PDP crisis. Yes, there have been some skirmishes, there have been some issues within the PDP. But the moment Wike was denied the opportunity to be the presidential candidate, everybody must die.
Must suffer.
Do you understand? The party must die. Nothing good must come out of it. This is a personal vendetta.
Right.
Again, Yoruba will say, Kakake kuma jesese, afi shawadanu. Rather than the rat not having access, to whatever food item it is, he would rather pour it away so that I don't profit from it, you don't profit from it. Which brings me back to the proverbial children and one died overnight. The woman whose child it was
Mm.
inside, they killed the two. That is the heart and the spirit that is being displayed there. And it tells you how clannish, how childish a man is. You're throwing tantrums like a baby whose toy has been
Hmm.
taken away. And that is the reason why he has sold out, from the party. That is the reason why he went to the APC, got an appointment, just so that he can show them that he has power. But
But
we
sorry to
case,
interrupt you, but I don't understand. If he has moved to the APC, why is he still involved in PDP?
no, it tells you that he's still a PDP man. Do you understand? And you see, that's what I'm saying. Across the party lines, there is no integrity, there is no
Hmm.
ideology. Do you
Hmm.
understand? Because look, when you say the PDP, who are the people who constitute the PDP? All of them are in the APC now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the PDP that have moved en masse to the APC. So it's not a function of I truly believe in the ideologies, if they are raw, of this party. It's a function of where can I get my own ambition, met. So, this is the party
Good
that
morning,
is
women
going
radio.
We
out.
have a call.
Good
Gloria needs to
morning,
unmute
good
Women
morning.
Radio.
Good morning,
Gloria
women
needs to unmute
radio.
Women Radio. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, madam. Good morning, analyst, Madam Sumbo.
Good
God
morning.
bless you.
Suma,
I've
can you
been
hear him?
listening to you.
We can't hear him.
Mm.
Gloria, please.
Hello, can you hear me properly now?
Oh no, it's
Can
not
I
even
go
from
Yes,
on?
you,
yes,
Evangelist. It's a technical issue. It's not from you, Evangelist Dixon.
Okay, can I call back?
Yes, please. You can call back.
Okay.
but there's still another
Yeah, that's fine.
women radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gloria, you might need to unmute both Women Radio for next time. Please go ahead.
So that is the problem. We must find a way. Now that's a major first problem, the personality of Wike, who is there causing trouble. I told you yesterday that look, the PDP was infiltrated by the APC to destabilize it from within. It's
Okay.
a strategy of war, so they are winning on that end. The second thing that one wants to tease out from this situation is the confusion of the courts. It is in this country that I will hear this court is giving this order, another court is giving that order. There are 2 or 3 federal high courts that have been mentioned in this case now. How does that? So one federal high court gives this judgment, another one gives that judgment, a state will do its own. There's a court of appeal, judgment that is pending,
Mm-hmm.
and
Hello, good morning.
all of that. So
Good
the
morning,
problem
Mary.
in this instance is the
Good
confusion
morning.
created by the courts. I
Good
don't
morning, women
understand
radio.
why the courts in Nigeria cannot act in sync.
Good morning.
There is what you call
Good morning.
there is hierarchy of the courts.
Good morning, women radio.
I believe that when there is a kind of clash, one should take, priority over the other. So when the courts themselves cannot come together and give a unifying judgment that the people can relate to, then there's a problem. So now
Please go ahead, Sumbo.
so now you have one faction holding on to this court judgment, another faction holding on to that court judgment. Which one do you fall on?
Which one
But
do you follow?
if you ask me, there will be no
Good
convention.
morning. Good morning, women radio.
Gloria,
Good
we are
morning,
still
women
having
radio.
technical issues. I can see that there's a call, but we cannot hear the call.
No, I just heard the person say good morning, women radio.
Good morning, women
Oh,
radio.
oh no. What you're hearing from the feedback from because I'm at the studio.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you unmute all the women radios, please, Gloria? Let's see.
Still muted.
It's still muted. Okay, I will let them figure it. We'll let them figure it out, and then. So sorry, Evangelist Dixon, if you can hear me. We're having technical glitches this morning. All right, please, Sumba, were you done with that point?
So I was saying that there's not going to be any convention. Well, first and foremost, I think that where's the convention supposed to hold? Ibadan or Abuja? But that's not even the issue. The issue is that the Wike faction seems to be having the upper hand. Why? Because it's got the backing of states. Okay,
Right.
he has the instruments of state and all of that, and it is stuck in trade. He knows what to do to destabilize, and look at what he did with the governor of Rivers State, Fubara. So for me, we cannot allow one man to be running riot and holding everybody to ransom in the country. Let me quickly say something. When that convention of the PDP to select, the candidates, when Atiku, came out as the presidential candidate for the PDP, and he was going to select his vice,
Good morning,
his running mate, and I was on radio. There's another call trying to come in.
Hello, good morning.
It's
Good
muted.
morning, madam.
Gloria, it's
My name
muted.
is
We
Tomato
cannot hear
Shalukman.
anything.
Let
Tomato
that
Shalukman.
pass permanently. Is Gloria hearing you at all?
She should be hearing me because she's not responding. But please go ahead, Sumba, while they figure it out.
So, and I was on radio and they were asking me what I felt. And I said it was a dicey situation. Wike will be a problem for anybody to have on their team. And so I said Tiku will have to consider that his mannerism and all of that. But at that point in time, I said he also had the capacity to pull in the crowd. Okay, so it was a question of how does Atiku apply the wisdom? Are you ready to take him on? Okay, let him bring the crowd. If you win, then you know how to tackle him, but it will be a difficult person to tackle thereafter. And I think those must have been the considerations, and I think eventually Atiku came out and said, no, it wasn't about him. It was about the rest of the team who said no. Because who we want to have, so there must be a way by which Nigeria is able, on an official note, to tackle the Wike syndrome. One man cannot be so powerful people in a negative way to be causing trouble here and there and throwing, spanners into the works. It's not done. But unfortunately, I don't know how the PDP is going to get its acts back together. I don't know. And that's why you now see them, particularly the governors, moving out of PDP en masse because they do not see a solution to the problem.
To the issue. And this is
They
obviously
don't.
a tactic by the APC, so it works in their favor.
It's all about personal ambition. So, if I were the one too, I would go for the place where I can realize my ambition. There's
Mm.
nothing like ideology. There's nothing like, very few people. The one person that I know who is a diehard PDP person is Bode George.
Mm.
He has stood over time and has said there's nothing that will take him away. There are very few of them like that. So it's a question of stomach infrastructure. I like Ayo Fayoshi. The stomach is, let's call it what it is.
Hmm. I think my worry for this ultimately is that we are moving, and you mentioned it in one of the editions of Newspaper Review that we are already a one party state. And that's where my concern is, because once we are a one party state, what does that actually mean for Nigeria?
It's a monarchy or a dictatorship. Abi oye delay ni báyìí. See, what do you see? You have seen the APC. The APC has come upon us like a monster that is killing every other person that is trying to rise. What party can? The only opposition was PDP. Unfortunately, look, it's interesting. The APC all their life had always been an opposition party. That's what they know how to do. Stock in trade. So they did it well. They gave the PDP a tough time. Now the PDP has always been a winning party.
Yeah.
And so so when the table switched, neither one knew how to do the other. Do you understand? The PDP did not understand what it takes, to be in the opposition and how, to oppose. And the APC, all their lives always be opposition. They are opposing themselves. So that is the problem that we have on earth. So ever since the APC came on ground, there's been no opposition. There's been no opposition. And that's why you see the cross carpet. But if it, we're in a one party state already. There's no point saying we don't want to be. That's our reality. We're in it. What Nigerians should be thinking about is, how do we break that circle? How do we break through the situation?
Because even the other parties,
Because when you have a National Assembly that is fully APC, everything they bring to the house is rubber stamp. In a country like Nigeria, where people vote along party lines, if you were, for instance, in the US Congress, you can have a Republican, come out in opposition to a bill that is being sponsored by his party. Do you understand? So, that happens all the time, because it's not a function of party, it's a function of what's best for the nation.
Yes.
And that's what is their guiding principle. Here, it's a function of my party, my party. You understand? Because in doing my party, they believe that they are also getting themselves some personal gain. And that's what's most important. And in any case, what reasonable thing goes on the floor of the National Assembly that has really bettered the life of this country?
What? So now my concern, my worry, I'm feeling like somebody poured cold water on me, because now I'm like, so what is the chance of the ordinary Nigerian right now? Like, if already this is what we're facing, if already this is what is going on in the country, what is the chance? Even the other parties, and I think when you say stomach infrastructure is such an apt way to term the whole thing, because even the other parties that should maybe come together to fight the 10-headed elephant, the 10-headed snake, they're all fighting because everybody wants to be the one to say, I got to be president. It is so worrying.
Nigerians go into politics not for service, but for personal aggrandizement.
Hmm.
And that's the root of our problems. Because if it was for service, Nigeria wouldn't be where it is.
Yeah.
So it's all a question of, grab all I can all I grab. You understand? You are trying to decode that.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, what? But I got it. I got it. I got it. Yeah.
Sit on it so that it's all
Yes.
about them. There's no service here.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We started on a I started on a high note, but everything is just I feel like I'm going to need a day to sieve it out of my system because I'm just like, what is
It's
going
a sad reality as a nation. It's a sad reality as a nation. And apparently, these people are, all the things, they've cornered all the things, that can give the average Nigerian a push to fight.
on?
It's like they got every weapon. But, the truth of the matter is nature itself has a way of bringing back order. No matter how disorderly a situation is, nature has a way of bringing it back to order, to its originality. It's just a matter of time.
Thank you so
You
much.
know, so that it's
Because
like
I
an
was even going to
ecosystem.
ask you what you think the way forward is, but can we wait for nature? Nature can
Ah,
be slow.
I, nature can be slow. You too, you are slow now. I've told you the
Yeah.
reasons why the average Nigerian cannot stand up. Let me just round it off this morning with
Mhm.
this statement. The Yoruba say, "Mi ò lè wá kú òkìjoyè ilé bàbá ẹ̀." The person that is so careful about his life and is like, I can't come and die, he can never attain the throne of his father.
Hmm.
And that is the problem with it. The average Nigeria doesn't want to die.
Yeah, but
Not
some
just die.
on the flip
The
side, we've
average
had
Nigeria
people.
doesn't want suffering.
I agree with you, but on the flip
And
side, is because we've also seen a lot of Nigerians who've laid down their lives for Nigeria, and we've not
nothing came
moved.
out of it.
Yeah. So it's
And
like,
because it is not something that should be left to one man, or it
right.
is something that should be, a big, a critical mass,
Hmm.
a critical mass of people doing the same thing, resistance at the same time. Okay, but NSAS tried to do that, but the moment that aspect came of everybody, even I pulled out my daughter.
Yes, you mentioned.
No, that's the honest truth. I can't lie. So, but until we get, because funny enough, we still have some hope
Hmm.
that it will be better. And hope keeps a man moving.
Yes.
When we get, and I pray we do get to a place where it becomes a hopeless situation for the majority of the people, something will give.
Hmm. Wow. We have come to the end of the newspaper reviews segment of the full breakfast show. It's been such an enlightening time with our analyst this morning on newspaper review. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sumbo has given us so much to think about, so much nuggets, so much to chew, and at the end of the day, the responsibility is on you as a Nigerian, on myself as a Nigerian, to do the right thing, go out to vote when your vote is your power. But this time we're moving to one party, God help everybody. But do the right thing, stand your ground with respect, with dignity. Maybe that way we can be pushing back and not thinking that, oh, it's not going to get better. Hopefully Nigeria will be better, maybe in my lifetime. Hopefully. Thank you so much.
Definitely in our lifetime. And
Thank you
next
so much
time
for
on the
coming on
last
the show.
minute, Fumi J,
Yes,
don't
yes.
you dare wear Arsenal t-shirts to come and meet me again. Next time I will put on my Liverpool and we will fight it to the end.
Please, oh, I'm only an Arsenal fan by marriage. Let's leave it like that. That's all. Thank you so much
I
for
love that.
coming.
Have a
Enjoy
wonderful
your
weekend. Good
weekend.
morning, Nigeria.
Yes.
You
Yes,
too.
it's 9 o'clock